What's up, everyone? My name's Ryan.
And I'm Courtney.
And this is the Courtney and Ryan Show. So today we want to talk to you about two pretty important topics: the economy and home prices, and how they kind of relate to each other, right? The last few weeks, probably almost 3 weeks, the equity markets
Say it one more time.
have been pretty volatile.
True.
Okay, downright scary sometimes, and the headlines are pretty much there to match it. So these headlines can be very grabby, right? And we want to add some truth to how those headlines and the economy relate to real estate right now.
Right. So in relation to real estate, right now we are currently in the longest economic recovery in American history.
Go America!
Yeah, if you can believe that. So the only way to stop the economic recovery is to have a slowdown or to have a recession, and those share the same definition. So a recession technically is 2 consecutive quarters where the GDP, which stands for
Gross Domestic Product,
when that falls or slips for 2 consecutive quarters, then we're technically in a recession.
Okay.
So here's the most important point you need to take away from this video.
A recession is not a housing crisis.
No.
I'm going to repeat that.
Please do.
Listen, Courtney.
Okay.
A recession is not a housing crisis.
And in fact, with the last 5 recessions that we have had, only 2 have been impacted, gosh, you and me both,
I know,
negatively in relation to the housing prices. So again, 2 of the 5 recessions have been impacted by the housing market negatively. Ryan will explain more.
Thank you, Courtney, for that introduction. The most recent recession in 2008 was obviously a huge impact to real estate. The home prices fell almost 20% on average. But we could really relate that recession to the housing market, to mortgage markets, right? Those are direct correlations of why in 2008 we had a recession. But what about this next possible recession, Courtney? Where do we think that's gonna come from?
I will tell you, and those indicators are really looking like the trade wars, the political climate, everything leading up to this election. That is kind of what is going to impact this recession moving forward, not necessarily the housing market.
Okay, so in other words, don't let the scary headlines scare you too much and lead you into believing that a recession is a housing crisis.
Right.
Right now, we're actually witnessing a pretty unique situation. It's a really great time to buy a home. And interest rates are historically low. So it creates this market of people are really still selling their houses for a good amount of money, and people are still buying them.
Right, at a low interest rate.
At a low interest rate.
So we would say take advantage of this time. We don't usually see the pairing of opportunistic prices and low interest rates. Okay. So take advantage of this, and if the current stock market and those equity markets are causing you some uncomfortable feelings, we would recommend that you take your investment into a more safe market, which would be
real estate.
Yes.
Bye, you guys.